All right, everybody, welcome to Sinister CyberCon weekend number 2. What a weekend we have in store for you guys. What very cool guests coming to you all weekend long. Jimmy and Brian here. We are the co-promoters of Sinister CyberCon. If you are watching on the Horrific Network or if you are watching on the Sinister Creature Con social media, we appreciate you guys coming on board. We have a lot of cool conversations over the course of the 2 days that are going to take place. I think most excitedly for me will be talking to the guys from Behind the Mask tomorrow morning. Tomorrow also, CJ Graham. What a cool one that's going to be. Tonight, a concert just for you guys performed live by Lindsay Skullcraft. That is just outstanding stuff. And I cannot wait to see what the weekend holds. But Brian, Sinister CyberCon, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We are super excited to do this. I know it's been very crazy. Let's put it that way. We have a lot going on. Felissa Rose, hopefully we'll jump in here real soon. She's actually having some Wi-Fi issues where she's at right now. So we're going to continue going through with this and seeing if, see if she could be able to jump in there and get it going with us. But, we have a lot of people coming in this weekend, excuse me. So I know you mentioned, Lindsay Schoolcraft tonight. If you guys are familiar with her work, phenomenal vocalist and violinist. She performed with Cradle of Filth for 4 or 5 years. We also have John Duggan tonight. I'm super stoked about that, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Devil Carnival reunion featuring Mark Sentner and Emily Autumn. This is going to be amazing. And then one of my favorite people on the whole entire planet, Mr. Miko Hughes from Pet Sematary, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And then you need to also say, Full House, because that was cool. I loved him in Full House. So, but yeah, man, I'm super excited about it. And we have some really cool things. But one thing I would definitely want to make sure that you guys get a chance to do is that we have on the Sinister CreatureCon.com website, we have a vendor hall. Jimmy, why don't you tell them a little bit about that vendor hall, man?
Yeah, so pretty much just like any other convention that you would go to, there is a vendor hall that Brian has set up for everybody who would have a table or booth at Sinister Creature Con as if it was a physical convention. So all you have to do is search second edition Sinister CyberCon, go to, or even easier, sinistercreaturecon.com, and you will see a link to what is a virtual vendor hall that has, all kinds of stuff. Earlier today, I went down a rabbit hole of collectibles that are like hand painted that are exceptionally dope. And there's just all kinds. You could spend all kinds of time checking out all the cool stuff that our awesome vendors have available to ship to you. And links to all their stores are available. So.
Yeah, and here you guys go. I'll give an idea what it looks like here. Let's see if we can get this share screen going for you. Yeah. Let's see here. There you go. So as you can see, the vendor hall right here. If you scroll down, everybody, all these people here were vendors or past vendors, which is awesome. And since we, due to COVID-19 and everything else, we had to shut down and cancel show dates and things of that nature. So the celebrities are cool. We all love hearing cool stories. We love meet and greets. But the backbone of any convention is your vendors. And for us, we really absolutely enjoy our vendors. We love them to death. They've been a huge part of us since when we started 2014, I believe. So this kind of gives you, a quick overview. A lot of these vendors, this is their only source of income are these shows. And unfortunately, with how things are happening, a lot of people have been impacted by that. So if you get a chance, please check them out. It's totally worth it. If you go to the website, just click on an individual link and it'll take you to wherever their channel is and things of that nature. So absolutely worth it. And just give support to vendors and all that good stuff. And hopefully, you guys can find some cool stuff for Halloween,
Definitely. Right now, let's bring in the guy who would be interviewing Felissa Rose when she is able to join us, get that connectivity. But a guy who, if you guys have gone to Sinister Creature Cons in the past, the physical Sinister Creature Cons, that is, you would recognize him immediately. Another moderator of mini panels, a few of which have been with Felissa herself. But let's bring in Jay. Jay, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, we are definitely happy to have you, man. We are in a situation of uncertain times, that is for sure. 2020 has presented us with, but we are definitely happy to be doing some kind of a convention for you guys, albeit a virtual one. But we are stoked to have you. Let me bring in now another moderator, a guy who you guys have seen in a few of our short films, and you've definitely seen helping the panel team at Sinister Creature Con. Charlie, how are you doing, sir? Charlie, can you hear us?
We can't hear you, Charlie. No
sound.
Yeah, we cannot hear Charlie. Charlie, we're gonna have to let
Charlie,
you go.
can you hear me?
We cannot hear you. So let me replace Charlie. Charlie, maybe try plugging your phones in again or something. I'm not sure. He seemed like he could hear us, but we could obviously not hear anything that he was saying. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, we are going to be with you for most of the weekend. We have a ton of guests. Right now, the first of scheduled, Felissa Rose, Sleepaway Camp star, is having some technical difficulties. So you are stuck with your panel production team for a minute until she's able to log on. The last of which, Don and Ashley, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Doing good. Tonight, Ashley, you get to interview. You get to interview Emily Autumn and Mark Sentner from the Devil's Carnival. How you think about that one? That should be a dope conversation.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to explore their minds a little bit and see what their process was and their thought process was during the filming of the movie.
I feel like a personal concert by Lindsay tonight, Brian, will be something that a lot of people who tune into this thing will end up remembering for sure. Like, I don't think you guys, you guys maybe have heard her name before, but you haven't really checked out her stuff. You guys don't understand how good she really is.
Oh, yeah.
And tonight will be pretty rad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year, before all this crap shut down, about 6 months, I would say. So, I can't really remember. Yeah, it was towards Christmas time, but Cradle played in Sacramento, and I was able to go check it out. And it was
nice.
She was with them at that time, and that was her. I think one of her last tours with them, and her her essence on stage it kind of stole the show, which is hard to say in some sense because if anybody is familiar with Cradle of Filth, watching it live is completely different than listening to it on a CD. And their vocals, the vocalist is, I don't know how he does it for 20 plus years to scream his head off like that. But it's pretty intense. But when she came on and actually sang her duet with them, and then she plays keyboards with them, it was just like, wow, like you could really see the talent that's there. So hearing her solo stuff and when it's just focused on her, it's pretty awesome, so to have her say, yeah, it was her idea, guys, to be honest. We were just going to do a panel with her and talk, and she was like, I'm down to play. I was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we're not going to say no to that. So, so for her to give her talents like that, willingly, awesome. So
definitely.
Bringing entertainment home is what we need desperately at this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
A&R Meyer saw Cradle at Ozfest a while back. That, I bet, was an experience to be sure.
I just got a text from Felissa. She is definitely still trying, guys. So everybody, I appreciate your patience. She's really hoping that she could jump in there. She's having some issues where she's at. The internet is kind of a pain. So she is trying.
Well,
so
and we all know her as far as what she likes to give to fans, and so we know that she wants to be here right now. She's just running up to a rooftop right now or something to try and get a better signal. I guarantee it.
In a red dress and high heels.
When she hops on, we're going to have a very weird background. I guarantee you.
Yeah, something like this or
on last night's watch along party, thank you to everyone who sat online and watched that show with us. Let's see. Felissa is here, you guys. Hey. So everybody, Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp. So, Jay, we will leave it to you then, sir.
Not a problem.
Awesome. All right, have fun, guys. Felissa, thank you so much for making this work, girl. Appreciate you. See you later.
I'm running out. Hi.
She's running. I told you.
Misbehaving.
I flat out told them that when we finally got a connection with you, Felissa, you were going to be running somewhere to get a better signal.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't think she can hear me yet. So everybody who's tuning in right now gets the wonderful behind-the-scenes look that you don't usually get to see in conventions, where the celebrities have to run everywhere to get a better signal.
So sorry.
It's okay. We're just happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you, and now I can hear you.
Oh, great. I'm so glad. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling like overwhelmed, like grateful.
Oh, getting a little connection issues. So unfortunately, it looks like she froze a bit there. But everybody just keep staying tuned, because I know that where she's heading is probably going to have a better signal. So that way we'll be able to go ahead and talk to and get to ask some questions of Felissa. So everybody who's in the chat right now, go ahead, and if you have some questions for Felissa, go ahead and type them in, so that way we can ask them to her when we get a chance. Hopefully the connection issues fix soon, but that way you guys have yours already just there stacked for us. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, that was interesting to say the least. I can only imagine that it's a huge, like convention hall, which those things never have the best reception at. And
I've never been able to post a photo from a convention.
She was obviously trying. Hopefully, we can get her back as well. So I say that because there are certain members of the team that lost the feed, but now have started to pop up stage. So something, maybe it wasn't just that.
Maybe not. I've been having a little bit of issues this morning as well. There's been a little bit of delay.
Let me stop you, Jay. She is back with us. Okay.
Yay!
I just want to show you. Here's the convention, so you can see.
Oh, there we are. And see, the router is like 400 feet away from you, so that's why there's no signal.
Right, exactly.
It is, again, so wonderful to see your beautiful face today.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you have me here. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
We were just reminiscing that you were actually my first interview at any convention ever. Was you? No. No. Because we got to see ASL interpreters have to sign the phrase attached penis, and then we got to call your mom. So that was an interesting interview, to say the least, and I loved it.
I always try to make it, so that we're keeping it fresh and fun.
You got it.
Thank you.
Let's start out with the fact that I rewatched again, I think for about the millionth time, Sleepaway Camp yet again last night, and I think the thing that continues to stick with me is your performance, and that is you're so believable as somebody who is, with everybody else being the overly sexual teens, this innocent look on your face that you were able to throughout the movie turn very demented is just such a beautiful thing. Oh, and now it looks like we froze on your beautiful face, so at least we get to see you. No, I do not have a connection. Thank you, people in the chat who are still sending in questions.
I am sorry. We, there's John and Carly. I can only imagine it is, and thank you guys for sticking with us as the connection is an issue in that convention hall where she is undoubtedly, but we are trying, and so is Felissa to get a signal because she loves hearing from you guys. I have no doubt in my mind, and so I'm sure
she absolutely loves her fans. Ed, I see that you're excited to finally be at a panel with Felissa. I guarantee you, she's just as excited once she can get in here to be at to have you be at a panel with her. I guarantee it.
Yeah, there's no question. Like every time she's been live and in person, she's been like over the moon about like getting to interact with all the fans of Sleepaway.
She is.
Oh yeah.
So,
she lit up those 2 minutes that she was on screen too. I mean,
we could have just left her face up there and just had our voices. We don't need to see us. We could have just left her right there.
John, this movie, when we first watched it, we watched it for the show that we, do weekly in the springtime, the podcast. And when I say we, I mean, we do a podcast that we also produce these
Campfire Chronicle crew.
Campfire Chronicles, right, on the Horrific Network.
But that wasn't your first time.
That wasn't our first time what?
Watching it. That was obviously not your first time watching Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, no. But
okay. I was worried that you last spring was the first time we ever saw this movie. I'm like, wait, What?
But it was the first time in a long time that we had watched it. I think it was the first time that we had watched it all collectively together. So it definitely kind of felt new again, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Oh yeah.
And so that look that she gives at the end of the movie, man, got even crazier after watching it.
Great movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like introducing certain gems to younger generations, and I'm very lucky to know a lot of generations below me. And so I've been the one who's gone, "Oh, you've never seen Sleepaway Camp? Here, let's watch together." So I get to see a lot of the first reactions of people who have never seen or never even heard of this film because they're 20 years younger than I am. But yeah, it's amazing to see people respond still as if, because the bullying issue that Angela deals with at the camp, it's the same douchebags then that exist now. They just don't wear crop tops and short shorts anymore. Well, at least the guys don't, because that's all throughout Sleepaway Camp.
Now, wait a minute. I do.
Well, why aren't you in your crop top and short shorts right now, Charlie?
I got the short shorts on, Jay, but I'm not,
I love it. It's your Rocky Horror Columbia short shorts, isn't it?
There you go. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. I knew it. Ed, Sleepaway Camp was one of the first slasher films I rented from the local video store. Props to local video stores. A lot of love goes out to Blockbuster Video, but we always forget they're the giants that put all the local ones out of business. So I miss my local mom and pop video store. You know, the ones with the saloon doors in the back that you tried to sneak a peek in when you were little. That's the video stores I miss. Blockbuster's fine and all. I watched it and I couldn't believe what I had seen. I was hooked with the genre from there. That's perfect, Ed. I'm so glad that somebody got hooked on a slasher genre, especially with a strong female character being playing the lead. It's just amazing that when people get hooked on horror from different perspectives. Hey, Brian.
Hey, I got something to tell you guys.
Okay.
Felicia says she loves you. She's sorry, first of all. And if everybody can deal with this, she would love to come back tonight at 7 o'clock after Lindsay's concert when she's in her hotel room because she feels very bad about the Wi-Fi. So if everybody's down, mostly Jag, because you know you're doing the thing. If you guys have her back, let's have her back tonight at 7. You guys good with that?
Sure.
Do me a favor, Brian. Send her the message that Jay says that he'll wait till 11 p.m. if he has to get a chance to sit down and chat with her
right now. So yeah. So everybody who's watching, just so you guys know, she's going to be back tonight. Okay, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So.
And Ed and AR and Patrick, thank you all for tuning in right now. But please come back at 7. Kevin, thank you very much. I see some amazing questions, some wonderful topics by people in here. AR, I love your conversation topic that you want to bring up. I actually had that on something I wanted to talk about. So yes, thank you all for tuning in now. Since you have this time, you can go to sinistercreaturecon.com and look at the vendor hall and maybe get some early Halloween gifts sent to you as quickly as possible. I know several of the vendors myself. I know I can vouch for Scarlet Treasures and Children of Boggy Hollow. I always mix up their name, but I love their work. I love all of our vendors, but this is a chance for you guys to go check that out.
And here's your vendor list right here, guys.
Yeah.
All kinds of folks up in there. Ride or dies from day one to new people. Like Jay was saying, I personally have bought from Scarlet Treasures, Digital, just all kinds of folks in here that are awesome. Creations has been with us since day one.
I bought prints from them.
Yeah, amazing, great stuff, man. So, like I was saying earlier, when you guys kicked off, if you didn't hear, a lot of our vendors, man, this is how they survive during the holiday season, and this COVID has shut everybody down. So they are in desperate need of being able to survive. So if you can spare that, coffee from Starbucks for the month and go pick up a $20 print instead for somebody, absolutely
Please.
do it. So, yeah.
Definitely.
George, we miss the vendors too. Thank you for chiming in on that. It's part of that experience.
Hey, shout out real quick. I want to make a shout out. Houston Horror Film Festival is in the building right now. These guys are amazing. If you guys have not checked out Houston Horror Film Festival, they just did their film festival online, which, by the way, we need to promote ours that's coming up in a couple weeks here. They use Zerb TV as well, and they did a phenomenal job. So the guys have really helped me kind of dial in our film festival on some extent. So shout out Houston Horror Film Festival, Sacramento Horror Film Festival. Man, we're doing a huge event, guys. Huge event. I'm so excited. So I don't know if you guys know this or not. We're combining all three into one. So we have the Sacramento Horror Film Festival. We have the Horror Short Film Festival. We have the Love Horror Film Festival. Putting it together in one show. Also, the Screen Queens Burlesque Troupe out of Placerville area. They are going to be there performing events. We had an awesome gentleman who lives out in one of our first volunteers come out down White, and he shot all the footage at the Colonial Theater out in Sacramento. And I wish I could show you footage, guys, but I never thought the Colonial could look that pretty. Let's put it that way. These performers brought it, so I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be a great show. The interviews, Jimmy, man, your panel brought some interviews for this. We can't say them all yet, but do you want to name a couple?
Yeah, I mean, coming up here at 1 o'clock, the talk with Miko Hughes is one. I mean, Charlie knows every Sinister Creature Con when we guys are doing your panel production stuff in the hall. I mean, we find ourselves in these situations that, as just a horror movie fan, regardless of what you're trying to do, that you will just nerd out over the fact that you are eating a sandwich. I know the first time it really hit me hard was eating lunch next to the Dream Warriors from Nightmare on Elm Street, or getting a mixed drink with the cast from American Mary. I'm like, holy smokes, like this is real life right now.
Absolutely.
And one person I always tell Charlie as we're having these experiences that consistently scares me still to this day is Miko Hughes in Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
And so to be able to get to talk to Gage from Pet Sematary, I think is pretty rad. So at 1 o'clock, we will have him on this channel. Knock on wood. Everything goes again. You guys, if you're just tuning in, Felissa apologizes. The panel has been rescheduled to 7 p.m. tonight with Jay and Felissa. And we had to kind of put her at the back of the line instead of the head of the line because of some connectivity issues she's having at her present location. So she says she's sorry, and she will see you guys in a few hours. Until then, we thank you for sticking with us for the extra hour to see Felissa's panel later tonight. And we thank you for just tuning in just to see the production team BS about horror and talk to some in the comments.
Can I say something real quick, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this real quick. I don't think you guys really quite grasp. I mean, the people who are watching right now. And by the way, Houston Horror Film Festival, we love you guys too. Thank you for that shout out. This film festival, everything that I mentioned, I'm gonna mention some of the guests real quick, like the interview guests that you guys did, because you can get all this for only $20. That's it. And we have interviews, like I said, from David Howard Thornton. Anybody remember that name? Mr. Terrifier himself. We got John Goodson from Star Wars. We got the whole, I don't know the whole cast, but most of the cast of Fakes Killing, which I'm super stoked. Gobble, gobble, motherfuckers. The one and only Barry Boswick, Rocky Horror Picture. Ted Nikolai from TerraVision, director of TerraVision, phenomenal dude. Super crazy, super fun. The queen, I call her, of horror, Rachel Talalay from Tango and Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. She actually just put out a Netflix children's horror show that just dropped last week, by the way, guys. And the one that's kind of out of the box craziness that we decided to go with because we're super huge fans, and plus the influence of horror in this guy's work is pretty dominant, and that is from one of the only groups who worked with Tupac, who worked with Biggie, who worked with Eazy-E, is Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony will be there as well. So we have a huge list, and that's just who we announced so far, plus close to 100 films and performances, and you can do it all for just $20, and that goes towards keeping us alive in this COVID time. So you guys definitely check it out. We have lists at SacramentoHorrorFilmFest.com, and I'm going to bounce out and let you guys do what you do best because I will just ramble, and that's not good for live time. Peace out, guys. Love you guys. Later.
See you, Brian.
So there you go. I mean, he laid it down. We have coming up very soon at the 1 o'clock hour. We have the Miko Hughes panel. Then we have, going later on into the evening, the Devil's Carnival reunion, the Lindsay Schoolcraft concert, the rescheduled Felissa Rose, not the canceled, just rescheduled Felissa Rose panel. Just like we said, back of the line instead of the front of the line. So she's your
I think
instead of kicking the whole
she'd rather be in the dark anyway. I think she likes the night. So
maybe with one candle lit.
I will make sure to bring one.
Is Dag doing his panel tonight? Is Dag today, John, or is it tomorrow?
It's today. I believe 2 to 3.
Oh.
Dag is 2 to 3 today. We got the Dag panel today. Absolutely. After Miko. Horrible host. Don't have the whole thing like memorized. Tattooed on the inside of my wrist. I do good enough to be with you. I do
Jimmy,
good enough
tomorrow I know you get to kick off with Leslie Vernon, right?
Tomorrow kicking off with Leslie Vernon. That movie is like, it's always on Shudder too. So like now it's like one of
wonderful
time movies. I'll watch it like every fall. Like,
it's a must watch for my wife and I every Halloween season. That's one of those ones that we always pop on. And when horror fans or critics talk about the meta genre or the meta subgenre of horror, I don't know why this movie doesn't get brought up as often as Cabin in the Woods, because that one gets brought up all the time when Scream gets brought up all the time. But man, the Behind the Mask is right up there, and I think answers some questions for old 80s slasher fans.
We can go back to that prior comment. Gigs World, the Kincaid panel. That is tomorrow in the Dag time slot, I believe, 2 to 3. Again,
4 to 5.
Yeah, it's 4 to 5, Jim.
4 to 5. Okay. Yeah. That's right. 2 days at 5. Okay, no, that makes sense. Okay. I'm sorry, Charlie. Jesus.
Let's get that schedule right, Jim.
God. I mean, that's just motivation not to memorize it when you're just going to be freaking live editor right there.
Everybody else will just chime in for you, Jimmy.
That's it. Kathy Barker says performances. I agree. I'll tell you, Lindsay.
Kathy Barker is one of our sponsors.
Well, what I was going to say to that is Lindsay is setting up her thing on her end, and she's just making sure she can stream it through the link, right? So praise Lindsay more than me. I'm just producing the link for her. She's giving us, absolutely, we are stoked to have all of our guests, but in more so than sitting in front of a camera, Lindsay's like setting up her instruments for you guys to play, like a 4 or 5, maybe 6 song set for you guys. It's pretty cool. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. I was expecting like an interview and a song, but she's gonna do a full, nice
I
little.
told her, like, because I talked to her during like a sound check or a stream check, if you will. And so I've kind of explained to her, I'm like, this is really, this is what I can do through the live stream. This is, what I see versus, someone is being a jerk. I'm not going to put them up on the thing or anything. And I was just like, I mean, the way that what you're describing, Lindsay, is I will introduce you and then I will go behind stage and enjoy the show, essentially. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, cool.
Perfect.
So,
And what time is she on again, Jim?
So here's a bus, and here's Charlie throwing Jimmy under.
yeah, really, what an ass thing to do.
What the hell? You know the answer, Charlie. You say it.
My job.
Michael Egtang, I went to last summer's con, had a blast meeting Cheryl and Finn.
Oh, me too.
That was a cool conversation. Jay, you actually interviewed her, right?
I am a huge Twin Peaks fan, and you guys, Jimmy, you've been very generous with letting me interview 3 different stars now of Twin Peaks, and Sherilyn was last year, or was it last summer already? Oh my God, I've been in quarantine so long, I don't remember what day it is or year anymore. But yeah, Sherilyn was just such a delightful interview, and she was, what I love is when people will talk honestly about something, even if it's not the most pleasant of topics, they will still put in their opinion of it, and they will still talk about from their side of things, how things were dealt with. And Michael, if you were there seeing that, June, thank you.
June.
I don't even know. We still in October now? I don't remember anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
John, you have some pleasant memories of Sherilyn, don't you?
Yes.
No, definitely. It is a mini
very
concert.
touchy-feely.
Well, yeah.
Well then. I see I should have switched jobs with you, John.
I remember John's face after that story. He's not going to tell, but
Who's been some of your guys' favorite people to get to meet and talk to at Sinister? Whether it be at the CyberCon last time, this one, or the live events. Who's been some of your favorites?
Kane Hodder was awesome.
Kane was cool.
Such a nice.
I thought Michael Berryman. I had the chance to talk to him for quite a while.
Yep.
And he is the most articulate, intelligent guy who has a lot of just really, interesting ideas on society and the way things work. And it's just so against type because he always plays the mindless mutant, Yeah. He always plays this person that has no ground, is not grounded in reality.
It's sometimes just all in the facial performance.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And he is the complete opposite of that. I mean, the guy is brilliant.
I got a chance to talk with him too. Yeah, he was just wonderful to chat with. I just saw what he was in Gerald's game. He was the Moon Man.
I think so.
I just saw it about a week ago, and for the first time, because I just never ran into it for some reason. And I remember him talking about it then because it had just come out when he was there, and that was a great performance, and just so menacing. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of funny.
Okay.
I wanted to meet Kane, but I had to leave. My ex wanted to meet me for dinner, hence she's my ex.
Priorities.
He's that kind of person.
The person you want to be dating would be standing in line with you meeting Kane.
Right.
Yes.
Felissa Rose and Catherine Isabel, someone says.
Yes, Kathy, you are right. Both of those. Oh,
John
John
Cassier.
Cassier was
John
awesome.
Cassier.
He's another one that is, his personality is just so gracious and friendly and outgoing.
Super friendly.
Yeah.
Super friendly guy.
I think I gotta say I'd like to share the story where the one moment that I felt like a rock star in my entire life happened at Sinister Creature Con. And I'm walking with you guys, going from table to table, like we do before the panels, where we get to introduce ourselves, ask whatever the celebrities, what they would like to talk about, that kind of thing. And I'm standing there. I can't even remember whose table we are all at. All I know is I hear, "Hey, Jay!" And I turn and look, and waving at me is Nathan, Leslie Vernon himself, because I had interviewed him the year before. But this year, the writer of Behind the Mask was with him, and he remembered me talking to him about saying that I was a writer. So he wanted to introduce me, not knowing I was doing their panel anyway, but he wanted to introduce me. So all of a sudden, there's Leslie Vernon waving at me across the convention, calling me over to introduce me to the writer of one of my favorite films. And I'm like, how? This is my life. How did this happen?
I think my favorite panel. So there's my favorite panel and then my favorite person. So my favorite person, just to fucking listen to talk, where I can be like, what about this? And then just listen to her talk for like 15 minutes about her life and then her dad's life, is Victoria Price.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one you didn't mention for the Horror Film Festival. Again, Sacramento Horror Film Festival. I interviewed Victoria Price. It's an awesome conversation. As we compile all this stuff, the Horror Film Festival for $20 is a steal. You get a ton of movies, short,
over 100,
short and feature. So that's included. Then you get performances, and then you get interviews. And then you get filmmaker interviews on top of the interviews, the celebrity interviews. You get a ton of content. So it's not like you're not, and this is all done, for not what it should have cost. This is done because people want to provide content for you. And the $20 is only going to ensue and ensure that we get to keep doing that. So that's why we get to do Sinister CyberCon for free. And that's why we get to do other fun stuff for free. And so we are going to hopefully have you guys join us at the Horror Film Festival the entire week of Halloween, from the 24th to the day after Halloween, I believe. So there you go.
Wow. All the way to the November 1st. I love when we get to spread into the next month.
I know it. So what we're going to do right now, I'm sorry, Charlie and John, we didn't get to your favorite person. John, real quick, who's your favorite person?
I had a lot of good conversations with John Cassier, so I think I'd go with John Cassier. I found out a lot more about him than I knew, so that was really cool. So again, it was really cool to meet him and get to hold his Crypt Keeper sign when he went to the bathroom.
And Charlie, who's your favorite person? 3, 2, 1. Charlie's favorite person was?
My favorite person, probably Joe Bob Briggs. He was a cool guy.
Wasn't that your first panel?
That was my first panel. Yeah.
Favorite Charlie story ever. I love it. That was like the best Charlie day of all time, the Joe Bob Briggs day.
It was, yeah. He came to our door by mistake, if you remember that, and we weren't expecting it. and he comes walking through the door. He's looking for the main, the main area where the tables are. And I stand up at attention. Everybody else is all sitting down, and I stand up like I'm in the army.
Sorry, before we go, Charlie, I'm sorry. Charlie, I'm sorry. But we have the link to the horror festival before we go, because we are about to have to go to get ready for the next panel. Charlie
Just cut me off.
in front of Joe Briggs. I'm sorry, Charlie. This is the Horror Film Festival. We are about to be on with Miko Hughes from Pet Cemetery and New Nightmare. And Felissa Rose will come back at 7 p.m. She was scheduled for 12. We had to move it to 7 p.m. due to connectivity issues. So please do not look for another horror film or another horror festival, another Sinister CyberCon. This is it. This is where you need to be. However you are watching this video in 13 minutes, the Miko Hughes video will be live, I promise. So we will see you then at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern with Miko Hughes from Pet Cemetery. Thank you to the guys who participated in the chat with us and had fun for our first impromptu discussion. We'll be back at 1.
All right.